Yo, so guys, and welcome to another player pick slash upgrade pack experiment. So, in today's video, basically what we're going to be doing is we're going to be opening up 50 80 plus 3 option player picks. Hey you! Would you like some cheap and reliable coins? Well, don't worry, because I've got your place. Make sure to head over to FIFA Coin Zone HotSwazLand.com and use the discount code FLAIR for 2% off. Or what you could do, which is a little bit more reasonable, is use your Amazon Prime or $4.99 subscription over on my Twitch channel. Now you may ask, why would you want to do that? That's a pretty good question. I've got you sorted. Basically, you get a daily trading guide. And what if I've got some questions? Twitter DM, Twitch DM, email, business email, you name it. Thanks for watching, and make sure to enjoy the video. The current SBC that is out, and seeing if you will profit slash loss on SBC fodder. Of course, this is interesting if you do icons, player of the months, player of the years, and so on and so on. So, what we've gone and done is we have gone and completed this SBC 50 times, and basically costing 7.5k per SBC. Basically averaged out 700 coins per rare and then 500 for the non-rare. Honestly, if you're doing this very expensive SBC, you want to be tediously kind of like getting these players because, yeah, trust me, it's already not looking very promising, and I've opened none, so that's how much we're running the base value at, which is 7.5k. 7.5k times 50 is 375k, which is the amount of coins worth of SBC fodder we need to get back. Again, that's just like a scenario of what we've done. We didn't actually have enough chemistry to do another one. So we've done 30 at the moment, and then once we're on market suspended, because generally you obviously have to buy loads and loads of players for this unless you have loads in the club. We'll open up the second set of 20. Down below you can see, look at that, aesthetically pleasing, beautiful. It's nice to see there's one thing aesthetically pleasing on the screen. And that is pack number followed by the value. I'll be filling that in live. I'll be saying every player is worth at least 1k. And then, of course, our footbin value, anyone who is, well, screaming shout out, basically any 83 plus. So, we are going to crack underway with the player picks. Now, we'll show you every single player pick. You know, we'll just talk about some other stuff, I guess, while this is going on in the background. And yeah, so let's go and crack underway with player pick numero uno. So, let's see what we're going to get. Let's see how it starts off. We start off with an 82 Bender. Of course, because I trade, of course, I have a pretty decent knowledge of who is already pricey in the first place. So Bender is going to be giving us a value of 1.5k. We're going off of PlayStation value because I guess that's the SBC, or the console I'm on. I do imagine it probably costs a little bit more on Xbox and then double on PC. I'm joking, but it's probably not that much more than PC. Let's move on to weight number 2, see if maybe we're unlucky on number 1. Oh! And that is what we're going to have to get back. Because I said these were 7.5k per pack, we are generally going to be kind of having to get an 85 or above. Like, there aren't going to be too many 84s that are going to break even. But a Pjanic is definitely what you want to see. Of course, we will total this all up at the end. And he's in at 22k, so theoretically I could go open, what, like, another 2 packs and get nothing too amazing. But there we go, that Pjanic is what we are looking after. Now, special cards I'm going to keep for, I'm going to value SBC fodder-wise, so let's say I get a Inform Fekir, I'm only going to value him at the cheapest 87 Inform on the market, to be fair. So, because he's obviously got value for demand-wise, and this is really an SBC fodder sort of test. So let's move on to number 3, number 3, which is going to be Mandzukic, so, you know, not too shabby. Man like Zukic, how much are we going to be going for? We're only going to be going for about 3.5k at the moment, so not too amazing. But yeah, so I guess I'll give you my honest opinion on these. I don't think they're going to be profitable. You know, if I'm going to be completely honest with you, I just don't back them being profitable. I mean, there was a massive outrage when they dropped these SBCs, being them overpriced, and I do kind of think they're overpriced. Maybe if they drop them like team of the season wise, maybe it wouldn't be as bad, because of course there are some absolute cracking players in packs. But at the moment, you know, there generally isn't anything in packs, and all they're offering you really is high rated players. Because again, Team Wheat's got absolutely nothing to scream and shout about as we get Raul Patricio, worth 1k. Probably again, I'll probably start calling some of these cards just so we don't have to spend as long. But yeah, I definitely don't think they're the best value for money. I think one of the better value for money ones we had, SBC wise, was, I'm pretty sure it's like you got 2 80 plus rare players. Yeah, you got 2 80 rare plus rare players for like team. I think it was like 4 gold non-rares or something mad like that. Like we've had some real cheaper SBCs, but this one I just wouldn't be backing. Of course, we had a very strong side with the Pjanic, but since then it has been going down here. So Pella right here is going to be 12k, just because again that's the SBC fodder. And yeah, it's pretty decent, you know. I'd take a Pella. Of course, Neto probably got about 5k on him, but yeah, I prefer to have the Pella right there. But there we go. There's our first and fourth. It's not that bad. I mean, theoretically, if you were to open these six packs would cost you what? Would cost you 15, 45k. We've not quite hit that, but you know, we wouldn't have. Basically, on the first 6, we're not looking too bad. So, team season is around the corner. Oh, well, it's kind of a bit of a predicament. I will pick Sanchez, but arguably he actually doesn't have any value. Now, of course, the weekly objective currently on at the moment there is score a few goals with a man of the match card, but he doesn't theoretically really have any value. I guess I will throw 10k in there. People would argue that could be biased. Arguably, it could be only worth 1k because of SBC fodder, but I'm going to throw 10k because theoretically, hold on to him down the line and maybe he's useful for an SBC. But yeah, back-to-back special cards. It's pretty interesting right there. But yeah, Team of the Season most consistent is coming up this Friday, which is really exciting. Team of the Season Bundesliga is going to be coming up in 2 weeks. We're probably going to have Prem in between them, which is, you know, pretty interesting. Very nice that we're seeing it actually coming. Oh, wow. Another Informed Pella. We're again count that as another 12k. But yeah, very interesting, of course. You know, it's always nice to get a bit of content on FIFA. I think it's dropping around about the same time as last year. Apparently it's ending around about the 28th as well, which gives us about 3 months of questionable content. Now, I would, you know, I was talking to a few of my, you know, mateys who do YouTube and so on, and we were talking about the amazing time last time when they dropped the Team of Seasons, they dropped the Festival of Foot sort of cards, which, you know, we would basically presume happen after Team of Season, because how many times in FIFA have you seen EA do something that was very well, had very well, you know, feedback as such, and then not drop the following year? Very, very rarely will we see something bang and then EA not bring it back next year. So yeah, we would be expecting that after Team of Season, but that's quite long to talk about. Team of Season, I guess quite a lot of you guys are here for trading wise. So I guess I'll talk a little bit about how to trade with them. Of course, I'll probably make some videos closer to the date. But one of the first things that worked extremely well last year was buying silvers who were needed for the League SBCs of the League of the current Team of Season. So let's say we had the Premier League Team of Season. You therefore want to go and buy all the bronze and silver players who are used to complete that League SBC, because especially in this year's upgrade packs, previous year's upgrade packs, you can get silvers in. This year are generally gold restricted only, so you will not be able to get any of the expensive silvers or bronzes in these upgrade packs. So let's say Cardiff, which is predominantly silver, you know, those people will complete the League SBCs over and over again because they'll keep, you know, spamming getting loads of League SBC players, but these silver Cardiff players aren't going to be packed, which as a result means they're going to be bought out every single time. And as a result of people having to buy them every single time, the cards are going to go up and up and up. Now, EA, as you guys probably have been observant, would see that recently in the promos, they... Oh my! Oh my! Oh my. There we go. So people say I actually look like Mr. Marco Reus, but that is insane. Now, I'm going to go and find out what his actual game value is. Now, of course, this guy's expensive because he's 50k, but I am going to belittle him and only value him at 88. But, wow, that's amazing. You know, I've never, I tell you what, I haven't really ever won for Royce, to be honest, ever since his like rise in FIFA 14 or something like that, but that's amazing. Yeah, he's got a value of 55k with him, which is weird because that's actually, oh no, sorry, that's on PC. Imagine being on PC. He's got the value of about, I'd argue that he's probably about 50k, just because of his League of Nation contribution sort of things, but yeah, that's an amazing pack pull. But yeah, so we're talking about investing in silver and bronzes for Team of the Season, and yeah, so you want to buy them because everyone's going to be doing the League SBC, but they're not going to be resupplied, which means they're going to be bought over and over again, but not only resupplied. But yeah, what we're talking about is EA dropping daily SBCs. Now, if you guys have seen every single promo, we normally get a daily SBC if that gives us an election pack, if that gives us a 35k pack, if that gives us a 25k pack, the other sort of 25k pack. It's just it's the common norm we get nowadays for promos. So that is how I think EA is going to counter the lack of silvers and bronzes being used for League SBCs, because what happened last year is a team like Sampdoria, where you needed lots of silvers, again, they'd do nothing but rise, as we get our man of the match matey twice. So I think EA will try and resupply the market via dropping election packs, and I don't think silver packs unless it's in marquee matchups every single week. So basically what you want to do as a result of this is you want to be waiting for Thursday's marquee matchups, and when the EA drop Thursday's marquee matchups, you normally see quite a lot of election packs and a lot of silver packs. So off the back of that, what you want to do is you want to go and basically invest in silvers for the League SBCs. Now the order I'd shout would be most consistent, Premier League, Bundesliga, Calcio, Liga, La Liga, rest of the world, best of team of the season. Now, I understand they've normally thrown Liga and Calcio in at the same time, but if it's to end up on the 28th, well, they generally have to split them and have a rest of the world team of the season. And bear in mind, EA haven't been too vocal on what they're doing. That's only what I can presume. So the first one being Premier League. Probably now onwards, you want to start stacking up Premier League silvers, but mainly again, you probably want to wait for marquee matchups and election packs. Now, what you can do is, obviously with EA dropping election packs to resupply silvers, which is heavily something I see them doing. I don't see them sleeping on that. You obviously want to go and pick them up then, you know? And you want to pick them up, like, you could try and pick them up a week and a bit in ahead because I think people will be looking for them. But basically, when they drop the election pack for the silvers, let's say for the daily SBC, you'd want to, you know, and let's say it's the week of the team season of the Prem, you go pick up Prem, and I'd probably pick up Bundesliga, just so you're starting to stack for next week, and you're stacking for the current week. But obviously, you know, you can go buy one of each. Oh my. You can go and buy one of each. You can just go and, you know, just fill up your transfers, fill up your watch list. Hey, you can go unassigned if you have a dying urge to. But that's just one of the plays I'd say there is during team of the season. A few other plays during team of the season is buying the gold versions of players who are going to get team of the season, especially those that are used in SBCs. So let's say, for example, Cancelo is going to... Actually, Cancelo's not a good example. Let's say, for example... Who's commonly used in SBCs? Let's say Rugani, okay? He's unlikely to get a team of the season, hasn't had an amazing performance this year. But let's say Rugani is likely to get a counter A team of the season. Because he's commonly used in the Juventus SBC, once he's out of that, once he's out of packs, because he's got his team of the season card, because this gold card is then not in packs, theoretically his gold card should rise and rise and rise and rise. Especially being that, you know, because it's the counter A team of the season, you're probably going to see the counter A upgrade packs, which means people are going to keep doing the league SBCs over and over again. Therefore, Juventus' SBCs can be done over and over again, but the Rugani is not being resupplied, which means the card gets rarer and rarer and rarer, and will just rise and rise and rise. You know, a bit like how the silvers are, but he's actually not in packs, therefore his card is in circulation. So that's something you can do. So we're looking at most consistent coming up. You know, we've already had both. You can look at most consistent and Bundesliga. It's not going to be that hard, you know, to choose or to know who's going to win. Just go for the players who are very popular. You know, you can ask me in the comments what sort of players do I think is going to win in certain scenarios. But it's pretty easy to call, you know. So there's players such as, let's try and throw someone off the top of my head in most consistent. Someone, let's say, Scooby-Doo, Sule. Okay, Sule is probably highly likely to win. He's from a good league, he's good rating. You know, he's got a bit of hype around him, you could shout as such. So what you'd therefore want to do is, because Sule is almost guaranteed, or not almost guaranteed, but heavily used in the Bundesliga League SBC, you'd go and buy a bunch of Sules right now. I think it's like 6k Xbox, 6k PlayStation, 8k PC. And you'll hold on to him until the most consistent is this up and coming Friday. And then probably in the last few days, maybe the Wednesday or the Thursday. Thursday wouldn't be bad because arguably people get rewards, spend money on doing League SBCs, Sule rises. This is a very common trend that happens to silvers, therefore very easily could happen with these players once going out of packs. So, and then you hold on to him for the following Thursday and then go and sell him on. There you go, do get ourselves a Surge Aurea. So about what, we got 20 players? Got another 10, so we're 2/4 of the way through. Not looking bad. 50k, 26k, another 22k. You know, we got players left, right, and centre. So we're gonna get this one then. What? I talk about Rugani and I get Rugani. I talk about Sule and I get Sule. That's actually a madness. So yeah, let's have a look at what Sule's going for, just because we're on the topic of him. But there's a few other things you can go for. You can go with high-rated golds, because of course when someone, let's say, ter Stegen's not going to be in packs, his card's probably going to rise. You know, if that's being used in Icon SBCs. What we had weekly SBCs. I think they were like 84 rated. Needed 2 team of the seasons. Something like 84 rated. Needed 2 team of the seasons, and need like 40-50 chemistry. I can't remember. There was 2 for whatever the current team of the week team of the season was. So let's say Prem. There was 2 SBCs during the week where it gave you a random Prem team of the season for that, and then there was one which was most consistent, which was like probably like an 85 rated team or an 82 rated team, 83 rated team with 1 team of the season. So yeah, you can go and invest in high-rated players who are using them, and of course guys who use in League SBCs. Of course, high-rated players if you maybe have a little bit more money, want to make less investments, and the low-rated players if you would like to, you know, I guess invest in loads of players, or just don't have too many coins to play around with. And Yeah, I guess there are more SBCs you can trade with. I guess I'll talk about the other SBCs you can trade with in the latter half of the 20. It's been a bit of a sad ending. Well, that's 4 1K players in a row. Here's when I work out that I haven't. We've actually tracked it. There's no players I've skipped. I was a little bit worried that maybe I'd completely forget a player. We get Zahavi. Brilliant. So, kind of stops our dry spell. But yeah, I'm not like these packs take absolutely ages to make. I'm not gonna lie. That's one thing I guess you could counter in. I don't know why you would really counter in, but tell me. I'd recommend basically using Liga NOS with them. Very easy. There's lots of players popping up. There's players in all sorts of positions, therefore going to offer you that 50k pretty easily. But yeah, they do take a little while to to build. We're getting a decent end. We get that Favi, whatever, followed by Thorvin. That's another 6k again, just 1.5k under what. No, I think I have missed a player. I have. We are 1 under. I'll have to go and track that. But yeah, let's go see where we're going to end this off with. Oh! We end it off with an Izza. I say, honestly, it's not been too bad. I'm not going to go and calculate it. I'll wait till the end till I go and calculate it up. But yeah, this has actually been a really good end. Sorry, I haven't scrolled down to the bottom. You guys are going to be getting scammed. But 40k right there on the Izzo. So there's that. What we are going to go and do is we are going to go and crack underway with the with building the final 20, and yeah, then we'll go see how much worth of SBC fodder we managed to make from the 50 player picks. So if you guys were wondering, we are actually just going to go and discard both these players. I don't really see any SBCs worth throwing them into. As some of you guys might scream and shout. What you guys understand, this isn't actually my main account. This is one of the accounts I do these little Road to Glories on, so I just use it for like a tester account for like SBCs and such, so I don't have to burn 400k's worth of 80 upgrades. But yeah, so we are going to go and discard both of these cards. It might be a little bit more controversial for that man match, but just thought I'd tell you, just in case you wonder what am I going to do with these duplicate cards. So a certain someone who was involved in the production of this video, me, completely forgot to double check that the mic was working, because that's what happens when you have a slightly scuffed setup. So I'm going to be doing a post commentary of this bit. So yeah, nothing different. I'll just be showing you the packs. If anything, speeded up. So you basically, I'm doing that part of the video when you speed up to watch the interesting parts of the video, prolong the interesting parts, and just speed up when you're looking through me packing Ruffier and Mendy. You're welcome. Okay. So what we're going to talk about right now is just another trading method you can do during a team of season, and this is going to be revolving around the daily SBCs. Now, on these daily SBCs that I was talking about earlier, where you'll get like 35k packs, 25k pack electrum packs, and so on, it has requirements like 75 rated team, 80 chemistry, 4 players from the Prem. So as a result, you want to invest in players for these generic SBCs. How do you invest in them? I'd go invest in gold non-rares for 400 to 500 coins, and gold rares for 700 to 800 coins. Now there are quite a lot of nice combinations you can invest in, because so for example, German Bundesliga left mids, there's like 5 of them who are gold, and as a result made them a really good investment. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to walk through every single league, and this is what I was doing right here in the video, but obviously it'd help if I had the mic turned on, so we'll do it this time with a active mic, which is always nice. So we'll start off with the Premier League. The Premier League, if obviously you're looking for English players in the Prem, you're going to be looking for English players who are right backs, left backs, and left mids. Each of these for the non-rares you probably want to pay about 700-800 coins for, and rares probably up to a K for. Left backs aren't as good because they have Delph, Luke Shaw, Rose. Right backs really good because the only rares is Trippier and Walker. Normally they're a little bit pricey, so as a result Wan-Bissaka and so on and so on normally end up getting quite expensive. And then left mids are absolutely amazing. I think there's 3 of them. There's only 1 rare, or I guess there's 2 rares. You have the likes of Sinclair, but obviously he's in the Scottish League, so you kind of want to be chilling with the Prem guys. And you've got Rashford, but of course he's got a position changed up to a striker, so it's not really around, and normally it's quite expensive. So there's the Prem. We'll next move over to the Bundesliga, because that should be the second league SBC. And you're looking for German Bundesliga right backs, left backs, and left mids, and right mids. For these, you want to be paying about 1k for the non-rares, probably in left, well, up to 1k in left mid, left back, and right back. And right mid, you probably want to be paying about 700 coins for. And again, you can literally pay 1k for non-rares here. I'd probably stick around 700 coins, a little bit more risk-free, but 1k, I'm very, very sure they'll do well. We see them hit about 3k when needing German left mids, just due to the lack of them as such. So now move away with the let's go for the Ligue 1 actually. French Ligue 1's amazing. You want to be looking for French Ligue 1 left backs, French Ligue 1 right backs, French Ligue 1 left mids, and French Ligue 1 right mids. Again, paying about 700 coins for non-rares, and probably paying up to a K for the rares as such. Now move over to the counterway. So Italy's quite good actually. You have right back, left back, centre back, which is an interesting one, and left wing. No right wing this time because it's flooded with rares, including Candreva, I think it's Verdi, Politeu. That's basically an absolute plethora of them. So yeah, that's what you want to go for. So again, left back, right back, centre back, and left mid for Italians in the counterway. Now, I would again stick for players in the League of the Nations. So again, Italy, counterway, English Prem, and so on. Move over to the La Liga to end it off. There's nothing in the La Liga. There are so many Spanish left backs, right backs, left wings, and right wings. It's not even funny. So that is all the leagues done. There is the end of the players. So we got like a Cavani there, a few man of matches. And I say you're lucky because now the video is like 10 minutes shorter than it probably would have been, and you've avoided a lot of rambling. So there's that. Now what we'll do is we'll give you a little overview of the YouTube video. So this is the bounty of completing 50 80 plus player picks. Not bad. Cavani, Royce, Pjanic, Mamash Dabur, Inform Izzo, Xavi, Mandzukic, Fabregas, Martial, Sule. I won't walk you through all of them. Thorvin, Xavi Martinez, Perrin. You know, we've got a fair few high rated players right there, but let's walk you through some numbers and then we'll walk through what the total is at the end. So 30 of the players were 1.5k or below, which is obviously what, 60%. Pretty easy to work out the percentages on these. So yeah, 60% of these were 1 to 1.5k players, which means obviously if you're doing 10 packs or 10 player picks, you know, 6 of them would be 1k players. 35 of the player picks were losses, which is a 70% chance of losing coins. And then we'll walk you through a few of the prices. We managed to get two players who are worth 20k, so that is 4% of players were worth 20k. One player who is 60k, so obviously that's 2% that was 60k, 2% chance of 60k, let's say. We got one that was 40k, so 2% chance of a 40k player. One that was 50k, so another 2% chance of a 50k player. And yeah, that's all she wrote. So, how much did we make is the question. And that answer is 371.8k, which means we would have made a loss of SBC fodder value of, what's that, 3.2k, which is insane. It's insane how close it is. Generally, like, if I was to put these in SBCs compared to buying the players, theoretically, I'd only be losing 3.8k. And here's an interesting fact for you, or an interesting stat for you, I think more like. It would be 341.8k if I wasn't to include the man matches, which, you know, arguably might be a controversial thing to account. So that would have been, what, 43.2k loss then, which still isn't too bad. Of course, you know, with over 70% loss in there, 7% chance of losing coins, and it being very skewed, you know, when we did get a good player, it's covering a lot of packs. It's not like I got, you know, 20 10k players. It's like I've got a few 9k players and then 60 50, you know, covering the value as such. Would I recommend them? Not with points, no, I really would. I think I actually got very lucky, in all fairness. Of course I could do a bigger sample, but a sample of 50 where you can see I think I was sitting about 800k. You know, it was quite pricey. Again, I did them very lazily, so don't run by the prices of that, because if again you do want to do them, here's one thing I would say: if you are going to do them, be stingy. Don't do these at 10k a pop, because at 10k a pop, 500k, which means I would have lost 120k. So, you know, don't just be very stingy if you are going to do them. If you have tradables, I actually don't think they're too bad, you know. Now, if you have untradeable rares, because there aren't that many SBCs that come around now. Don't get me wrong, I guess you could say it's actually quite idiotic to say that, because we have the icon, the League SBCs, and the League SBCs are quite likely to require the same sort of thing, and you get a 25k pack. So, I guess going into team season, no, I wouldn't recommend them. Now, if they throw these maybe when there's nothing else on and no team season coming, yeah, I don't think they're too bad to put your untradeable rares in from your your division rivals. I think that's where you get non-rares in, or untradables in. So it wouldn't be good. Wouldn't be bad. Again, wouldn't recommend it near team season. Wouldn't recommend it near coins. I don't think that's much of a surprise, in all fairness. But yeah, I think that's about it. What would I say these compared to? What was the last ones we did? I think it was like the. I think this worked out a lot better than the last. I think we did player picks last time. I think there were some cheaper ones as such. But yeah, not too bad. Obviously for myself, quite a good result. I'd say hopefully this helped you decide if you wanted to do them or not. I know I've released this 3 days after, and it's probably only like what 24 hours left on this SBC or something like that. Let's have a little gander. But you know, hopefully did help you decide if you wanted to do them. I'd say I'll be honest. I think this would do if anything, it would you know, I guess increase the chance you want to do them, because there is, again, it portrayed that they're very, very bad value for money, and I've just shown you right here that I'm near enough broken even as such. So that's that. As I say, tomorrow you should expect the first episode of 0 to 1 million in 4 days over on PC, which should be good. So that's the road to glories. And yeah, thank you very much for watching. Hopefully you did enjoy the video. Any questions, do drop them down below. The spreadsheet's not going to be discarded, so if any of you want to see the spreadsheet, I might put it down in the description. If not, just ask, and I can obviously link it to you guys. But thank you very much for watching. Have a good rest of your day, and I shall see you guys tomorrow with the brand new PC Road to Glory.